Hey, Tyler. Thanks for doing this.
How's it going?
Um, I'm curious with the logjam that the Nets have at guard. Um, how worried were you that you might not get this opportunity, and what kind of communication have you had with Steve about role?
I didn't know I was supposed to be worried. I came in with the mindset of you know getting better every day, and who knows? This is a crazy this is going to be a crazy season. We don't know how things are going to shake out. So all I can do is put myself in the best position possible, and as far as role goes, I think it's gonna change as the year goes on. And all I'm waiting for is my opportunity, and then grab hold of it and go from there.
Greg Logan with Newsday.
Tyler, sorry, it took me a while to unmute. I just would like to know, do you have a sense of where you're going to fit into this rotation? And have you had a chance yet? I know there's just individual workouts, but have you had a chance to work with KD and Kyrie yet?
Very minimally. It's just good to have everybody in the building and get to see faces and build that camaraderie. As far as shooting, you can only get to know somebody so much during that time. But once we get rolling, I'm sure we'll get a little bit more acquainted.
Go to Christian Winfield with the New York Daily News.
Hey, Tyler, how's it going? I guess first and foremost, happy belated Thanksgiving. Hope you enjoyed that time with you and your people. Hope you've thrown away your leftovers by now. They're not good anymore. Just a quick question. You touched on kind of the uncertainty with the roster. I'm just curious. How is it's training camp, right? So how's the communication between guys? How's the chemistry? Is that chemistry building? Just what is the training camp energy and vibe like? Given the roster's uncertain right now. We don't know which way it's going to go.
Yeah, I think everybody's just excited to get started, and we're looking forward to having the opportunity to get together and bump a little bit, and like I said, go from there. I think once we start playing, both against each other and in the preseason, we'll get a good vibe for what the situation is going to look like.
Alex Schiffer with The Athletic.
Hey, Tyler. I'm just curious, in your free agency, did you have other teams talking to you? And we talked about the number of guards on this roster. What did you like about this situation, despite there already being a surplus of guards in Brooklyn?
Yeah, there definitely were, were other teams and other opportunities. But, the thing is that it's very rare to be in a situation where, you have a team that wants you that's going to be putting themselves in position to compete for a championship. And that's what I wanted to be a part of. And, however that evolves for me moving forward, we'll see. But, being around great players, it raises your level. So, that's what I wanted to be around.
Malika Andrews with ESPN.
Hi, Tyler. When you're trying to assimilate into a new team where you haven't played with a bunch of your teammates that you have now, how do you go about trying to do that when you can't actually work with them? Is there any new or different ways that you have to try to do that since you can't actually work out with them in person?
Like you said, it is kind of tough until you actually can get out there and play a little bit. But you do get a sense for guys' work ethic, though. You do get a sense for, who comes in every day and works hard, who cares about making and missing shots, who, is trying to, take their game to another level, even with the, situation that we're in right now. But, I think moving forward as we get to all be on the court together and start playing, like I said, I think that's when guys will get a good feel for each other.
Steve Lichtenstein with WFAN.
Tyler, I wanted to ask, you got a good look at what Karis LeVert can be in the bubble. what did you learn from that you might not have known going in?
I didn't know how consistent he was. You know, in the bubble, he was putting it in every game. You know, he had a couple slow starts and then turned it around and was a finisher as well. Was hitting, you know, clutch shots. And just you know, there's a lot of people who can play within the flow of the game, and then when it gets down to that fourth quarter and it gets time to make those plays and down the stretch, you know, they kind of fade away or they defer. And, you know, he wants those moments, he wants those shots, and being around him and, you know, hearing the way he speaks, it's like you can't help but root for that guy.
Go to Chris with Nets Daily.
Hey, Tyler, I'm just wondering, what's it like learning under Steve Nash as a point guard yourself?
Steve is great. You know, I've heard a lot of stories, you know, both, you know, me being from the Bay Area and him playing at Santa Clara, heard a lot of stories, you know, about him and his work ethic and you know, how he became who he is with, you know, limited attributes. You know, so his basketball mind is what allowed him to, you know, be an MVP in this league and take that Phoenix team to probably the best it's been in a long time. So, you know, I'm looking forward to as the season progresses. You know, he's still new to being a head coach as well. So, you know, seeing his progression as well, you know, I'm looking forward to it.
Go back to Greg Logan with Newsday.
Tyler, can you addressed earlier why you wanted to sign with the Nets, but can you describe, you know, the conversation with Sean Marks, you know, who signed you to the big contract several years ago, and did he let you know all along that they expect you?
You cut out for that last part. Would you?
Did he let you know all along that they expected to keep you?
Yeah. We were in, you know, when we were, before I signed in the bubble, there was an opportunity to, you know, to re-sign, you know, for this upcoming season. And so, like I said, Sean's been completely transparent. He's been great at keeping me informed on the situation. And, you know, he's been like that since he offered me that initial contract a couple of years ago. And I'm very, you know, it's very rare to have somebody who's keeps you up to date and keeps you filled in on the situation. And he's done a great job with that. And I'm very appreciative of it.
Got time for one more. I'll do a couple more. Christian Winfield, New York Daily News.
Hey, Tyler. Just curious, you know, last year, well, I guess it's not last year, right? It's a couple months ago. In the bubble, you had quite a few games where you call them standout games, right? You were converting on a high clip, at a high efficiency on your shots. I'm just curious how you were able to build on that momentum in this offseason that hasn't necessarily really been a full offseason. It's been a really shortened one. So basically my question is, how have you been able to work on your game, and what have you done to kind of build on where you left off in the bubble?
You know, it's more about working on my body, allowing myself to be available at all times in both practice and games. You know, I felt a little banged up when I was in Phoenix, and then you know, obviously COVID is taking a toll on everybody, but it did allow some time off for me to get healthy and for me to come back, and it did allow me to have that time to feel good while I was in the bubble. And so after we got out of there, that was my main focus, was continue to progress with my body and making sure I'm fully healthy going into this year.
Do you still feel good? Like, do you feel good now going into the season?
Yeah, I feel great. To be honest, I feel great.
Last question for Tyler. We'll go to Tom Dowd with BrooklynNets.com.
Hey, Tyler, just going back to the bubble as well, you know, obviously this is a different roster than you guys had in Orlando, new coaches, but what did you take out of that experience just in terms of getting acclimated to, you know, the organization itself and the way they do things and how you fit in there?
You know, there's still a lot of the same staff that's been here. So being able to, you know, get acclimated with them allows for when we go into this season that, you know, a little bit more of a level of accountability because we've, you know, they've seen me play and I've seen, you know, what they expect out of me as a player and as a team, what the goals are. So I think just the familiarity going into a season, it allows you to have different conversations as you move forward.